it's Bree, and I have a story for you. New year, new tea. I'm back and better than ever in the new year with one of the most out-of-pocket stories I have ever told in my life. And I'm going to set the story up even further for you, okay? This memory and this idea to do this story time came to me when I was walking back to my auntie's house from the train station, and something just caught my attention across the street. So I'm walking down the main street and I look across the street, I see the train passing, and then behind the train tracks there's like this industrial building, and I was just staring at that building, and all of a sudden one of the dumbest things that have ever happened to me in my life came to my mind, and I was like, oh my god, I have to tell these people. Y'all are not gonna believe this story. I couldn't even believe that it happened to me. It was that out of pocket, okay? So today I'm gonna tell you guys the story of how I almost got jumped by people I didn't even know. Before we go ahead and get into this story, if you guys have been on my channel, you already know what it is. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're new here, go ahead and click that red button and subscribe, and don't forget to click that bell for notifications, because I know after this story you guys are gonna want to see Bree all the time, every time I upload. I'm honestly just gonna get straight into this story because y'all really are not gonna believe it unless I just get straight into it. I was going through a klepto phase. Like, I don't know, I really don't know what I was going through. I was just stealing. So there used to be a Ralph's on Crenshaw and like Rodeo, or yeah, on Crenshaw and Rodeo there used to be a Ralph's. And my auntie doesn't live far from there. Obviously I grew up in that community, so that was like my neighborhood grocery store. And in that plaza was like a Rite Aid, a Walgreens, a Starbucks, yeah, Denny's. If you guys have been down Crenshaw, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that's where I grew up. So I don't know what phase I was going through or who I was kicking it with, where I just thought it was okay for me to be stealing. And I would literally wake up on the weekends and tell my auntie that I was gonna go to Goodwill and really go to Ralph's or Goodwill or Walgreens or CVS and just steal stuff. And I'm not the kind of person that just steals just because I want to steal. Like, I don't have that mental problem. I steal because I don't have the money for it and I want it right now. So I guess like any regular person, like, I just steal because I don't have the money, not because I think it's a sport or I get an adrenaline rush, okay? So it definitely wasn't one of those situations. Stealing is definitely, it's not something I should do, and as this story progresses you guys will understand why. Like, it's just not in my life path. It's not something that I've ever been able to get away with. I knew that stealing from Walgreens and CVS was way harder. Even Rite Aid was way harder than stealing from Ralph's. Like, Ralph's was way too easy to steal from. I would steal breakfast, lunch, and dinner from Ralph's, okay? And it wasn't like I wasn't being fed. I just wanted a specific dinner and I would go steal the ingredients to make it, or I would go steal a TV dinner or whatever. Like, literally I was lazy. I go to this Ralph's and I remember that I was not trying to steal food. I was trying to steal like makeup brushes. I was watching a tutorial and I wanted to get some brushes, and I knew that Ralph's had them, so that was my mission for the day, to go steal some makeup brushes from Ralph's. I go into Ralph's, and like I told you guys, I suck at stealing. So I kind of like put the brushes in my bag, or it was either one of these because I suck at stealing, so I know what I do. I put it in my bag immediately and then take forever to leave the store, or I walk around with it in my hands forever and then slide it in my bag, obviously, and still don't leave the store. One of those situations happened, and I ended up walking out of Ralph's. Now, I thought that I got away. Based on the scenarios that I just laid out, there's absolutely no way that I got away with that, right? I get out of Ralph's, and then it was like Ralph's, and there was like a Cleaners next to it. So I get out of Ralph's, get past the Cleaners, and I'm about to jaywalk and take my ass back to my auntie's house, right? And I see this like younger black guy, and he's like, hey, like, come back here. And obviously, as soon as that moment, I'm like, fight or flight. Like, I had 2 seconds to decide if I wanted to just give him the brushes back or run. So I decided to run because I didn't know if I was going to have to give the brushes back and have the police called right around the corner from where I live. And then my auntie's going to be like, you told me you were going to go to Goodwill. How did you end up in Ralph stealing? So it just made sense to me to run. So I run across the street, and the security guard was like, don't even think about it. Don't even do it. And right when he said it, I was darting across the street. What was I thinking? Because he ran so fast, y'all. Like, it literally made sense why he told me don't even think about running, because he was on my ass. Like, when I got across the street, I didn't even think he was going to chase me across the street. I thought he was going to be one of those securities that's like, oh, I don't care about my job. But as soon as I hit that other curb and I turned around, he was like right here. And I was feeling stupid. So I just gave him the brushes back, right? Now I'm feeling dumb. I'm out of breath. My ego was just bruised. Then I got caught stealing from Ralph's. Like, I wasn't fast enough. There was no way in no universe that I would have outran that guy. So after I get caught stealing, my mind is all over the place. I mean, I literally was dealing with the fact that I just got chased down and caught stealing. I was caught stealing. I was out of breath. Like, literally, I was dealing with so much stuff. And the fact that I didn't even get the brushes was out of the window. It was just the humiliation of all of it. Like, I would have did better just giving the brushes back, but because I decided to run across the street, I had to deal with that humiliation. As soon as the security guard took the brushes from me and went back to Ralph's, and I realized that I didn't have to come with him and I wasn't going to go to jail, I was too ashamed to walk down the street because that was like a main street that had happened on. So I cut and went through like the alley. Now, in the beginning of the story, I told you guys that the memory that even made me want to tell this story was I saw the train tracks, and behind the train tracks was an industrial building. So if you guys remember that, if I'm telling you that I was walking through an alley off the other main street, I was obviously walking behind that industrial building, right? So my mind was like completely in disarray. Like, I wasn't thinking about none of my surroundings. I was just doing the walk of shame. Like, let me just take my ass in the house. Now, like I said, I was not paying attention to my surroundings because I really want this story to like flow and make sense. I was not paying attention to my surroundings, but I do remember a white car pull up on me, okay? Now, everybody knows that white SUVs, because it was a white SUV, everybody knows that white SUVs are devil cars. They're devil vehicles. When you think of like a pervert giving candy away to children, you think of a white SUV. When you think of anybody kidnapping and stalking and premeditated murder, you think of a white SUV. When you're like a crime mob drug cartel person and the feds are watching you, they're in a white SUV across the street. So everybody knows that a white SUV is just a bad vibe. It's a bad mood, okay? Keep that in mind, please. Thank you. I'm walking down this alley, head hanging low, probably look miserable and pathetic, and these girls, it was like a white SUV and it was 3 girls in it. And they pull up on me. I'm sorry. I literally, as I'm about to tell you guys what happened, I can't believe this shit happened. So they pull up on me and they're like laughing. And they're like, what just happened? And I'm out of breath. And just how I tell you guys all my business, I told them my business. And I'm like, oh, I just took something from that Ralph's. And he caught me, like I got caught. And that's why he was chasing me. Because they were really like, they were laughing at the fact that I had got chased. So which means that they obviously saw me on the main street and turned down the alley to see like what happened. I honestly don't know why they turned down the alley to follow me. If they saw me being chased, that's the last thing I would do if I was driving down the street and saw some girl being chased. I'm not about to follow her through an alley. Like, I don't know. But nonetheless, I'm telling them, oh, I stole something from Ralph's and I just got caught. And they laughing. They were laughing way harder than I was laughing. Like, I didn't even come to a point in comfort with the situation where I found anything remotely funny. So after my third my third like, I was kind of like uncomfortable because I'm like, so what are y'all gonna do? Just like drive slowly next to me and keep laughing in my face over the situation? Like, I was kind of ready for them to drive down the street so I could continue to be depressed. And then the girl in the passenger seat, she's like, oh, let me see your phone so I could call somebody, because I had my phone out. And I don't know why I had my phone out, because it wasn't like I've changed a lot since these periods of the stories that I tell you guys. I have changed so much since that time, but I'm trying to figure out why I had my phone out, because it wasn't like I was gonna text any one of my friends like, oh, I just got caught stealing, because I have too much pride for that. Nonetheless, I had my phone out, and the girl in the passenger seat who I was closest to was like, let me use your phone. Now in my mind, I'm like, I don't even know you. You was just laughing your ass off in my face about the fact that I got caught stealing at Ralph's. Now you want me to use your, like, that's not enough bonding time, sis, for me to just give you my phone and you're in a car where you could just drive off. And anybody who's watching this that knows me in real life, I have gone through like 800 iPhones. Like, technically in real life, I am on iPhone 37. So because of the fact that I've gone through so many iPhones, lost, stolen, and damaged, I kind of connected in my mind that if I give this stranger woman my phone, they're gonna drive off with it, right? So I basically told her no, and I was polite about it. And they were still driving slow next to me, and they were like, come on, like, let me use your phone, let me use your phone, getting more aggressive. And then I started to feel like, what is going on here? Like, it started to become really obvious to me that they wanted to take my phone and they wanted to rob me. And that's the part that I didn't understand, and I'm probably just really naive, because I'm trying to, like, even before I sat down to tell this story, I was trying to understand, like, the thought process. Like, okay, so I robbed from Ralph's and now y'all wanted to rob me? I don't know. But it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stop walking. Like, now I want to kind of try to outsmart these girls. I can't beat these bitches up, and I'm not about to outrun a car, so let me try to outsmart them. So, you know, like with a shark, like if a shark is chasing you, you're supposed to start swimming backwards. If you guys didn't know that, that's like a fact. So I decide, if you guys are driving slowly next to me, I'm just gonna stop walking and start going backwards. And that's kind of what I started to do. So I stopped walking completely, and I started like to turn around and act like I was gonna go like behind the car, I guess, or even turn around and go back the other way towards the Ralph's. But I knew that it was time for me to change directions, because they were gonna keep following me potentially to my home. So when I start switching directions, the situation literally flipped. Like, it literally like flipped switches quickly, and to this day it makes no sense to me. Like, I don't know if I was like instantly getting my karma from Ralph's, but when I started to back up, the driver, she did like some fast and furious like skirt, like literally, like there was no, like, they had turned diagonally to where it was like I was not about to walk around the car. If I was gonna go this way, they would be prepared to turn and go that way, and if I was gonna go that way, they could have just backed up and pit me against the wall. I mean, I don't really know what level of crazy these girls were, but they were crazy to where I felt like I was in danger. So when she kind of turned sideways trying to predict which way I was gonna go, I darted, like I ran through the front of the car. And so I'm running through the front of the car, and tell me why the girl in the passenger seat hopped out quickly. And now I'm thinking to myself, fuck, I'm being chased again. So I'm thinking to myself, how can I get away from these girls? How can I put these girls in a situation to see how desperate they're gonna be? Because I'm not really used to situations like that. So I have to put myself in more of a confined situation to see how serious these girls are. I don't even know if that made sense, but I'm just gonna keep telling the story and y'all tell me if it makes sense. So basically, when the girl gets out the car and starts chasing me, I'm like, so they really trying to steal my phone. They're either really trying to steal my phone or these bitches trying to jump me. So the first girl gets out the car, chased me. She chased me, and at this point, I got the Nikes on. Like, I'm like, no, this is not about to happen to me. Like, I'm not about to get robbed. Like, no. So I turn, and I'm in that area, but behind the train tracks and in front of the industrial building where I told you the whole idea to tell this story came to my mind. So I'm basically on the main street, but I'm like squished because there's like a little gate separating. There's like a little landscape between that industrial building in the front of it and like little plants that they have, and then the train track and the actual train. There's like a gate. So it's definitely like a confined area. And that's what I meant when I was like, ooh, I'm not really sure if that makes sense, because I'm thinking I'm gonna run through here because I really did not want them to chase me home. That's what I really did not. And I didn't want them to chase me in my neighborhood to where somebody could see me being chased but not even help me. Just tell my auntie that they saw. Like, there's so many situations that I was trying to avoid. And I understand that I always end up doing something dumber, but you got to understand my thought process, okay? So I'm in this confined area and I'm hiding behind like overgrown plants. And I'm like petrified. And the girl knew that I was petrified because she chased me like halfway into that area, but then she just started laughing her ass off at me like I was a joke. Like, and technically from her eyes I could kind of see why I was a joke, but I mean, I'm just not that girl. I'm not about to sit up here and try to fight y'all and y'all got a car. Like, that's just not what I'm gonna do. So I'm squatting and I'm seeing her laugh at me, and I know that like, I know that technically I wasn't even hiding because she saw like where I ducked off to, but I guess I was just looking so pathetic to her. She was just like, whatever. So I wait for her to go away, and at this point, like, I was literally scared for my life, because what was she gonna do when she caught me? Like, did I piss her off by running away? Was this gonna turn into, now I'm gonna get my ass beat? Okay, so I wait a little bit. Now my original intention was wait 3 minutes, walk my ass home. I was not gonna search the perimeter. I was not gonna see where they went. I was just gonna wait 3 minutes and come the fuck out and go to my house. And I'm sorry that I have to cuss like that, but that's literally the way I was thinking. Wait 3 minutes. We not looking for nothing. We not checking to see where nobody's at. Because literally all I had to do to get back to my house was cross the street and walk down 1 block. I would have been back into safety. So I sit there, I wait 3 minutes. Y'all, let's just say 2 minutes and 55 seconds went by. It was almost a 3-minute mark. And I come out of my hiding and I'm walking and I'm almost to the cement to get back on the sidewalk to walk that block to go back to my house. Tell me why the white van pulled up on me, skirt, like literally like a movie. Them bitches pulled up, and not only the girl in the passenger seat, but the driver hopped out on me, and instantly I started running. And when I say I started running back down the little confined area between the train tracks. Now I got 2 females chasing me, so I run into the actual industrial building. And at this point, it was literally like a bull in a china shop. My vision wasn't focused. I was in pure survival mode. It wasn't even like a bull in a china shop. It was more like a deer in headlights. Like, I couldn't see straight. I couldn't think straight. I was just literally in survival mode. Here's the crazy part. The place that I ran into, they made furniture. So I kind of ran into a dangerous situation, not only for myself, but for the people who work there. I instantly became a liability. And I think that's why I originally said bull in a china shop, because I dart in, I have 2 females chasing me. One's chasing me from this side, one's chasing me from the other side, because once we actually got into the building, this girl went behind this section of workers and that girl went behind that section of workers. And I'm just like mind-boggling. I kid you not. I could not see straight where I was going. I was that scared. I just remember I ran straight. I saw some stairs. I ran upstairs. I saw some furniture that had already been made and it was like covered. Like, you know, like in scary movies when they go up into the attic and there's like furniture that's just covered and it hasn't been cleaned out. That's what it looked like. So I just ducked and I was literally, oh my God, when I tell y'all, I was crying, scared for my life. And the crazy part is that when I ran into this industrial furniture warehouse, whatever, there was people with drills. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody in that situation was shook, because imagine you come from chopping wood and you're turning around, you have this violent haphazardous tool and somebody's just darting past you. Like, anything could have happened, not only to me but to those other girls, and not only to those other girls but to the workers. So I'm upstairs and I'm telling y'all, I am out of it. Like, literally horrified. I can't even breathe straight. and I could hear the girls downstairs. And mind you, these girls never knew me from nowhere. They did not know me. I did not know them. They were complete strangers on the street. And I heard them downstairs because I was the only one, by the grace of God, I was the only one that was able to shoot upstairs. I'm telling you, I must have been moving like an animal that was being hunted, because I heard the two girls downstairs, no, let us go get her. Let us go get her. And they were coming up with this lie as if I did something to them. They literally, I could hear them downstairs lying to the workers, saying that they needed to get me because I did something to them. And they should just basically hand me over. And when I heard that, y'all, I mean, I was literally... I probably could have went into cardiac arrest. I was that horrified. As I'm upstairs hyperventilating, basically on the verge of death, some man who I guess worked at the furniture place, he found me in my hiding space, and he comes up to me and he says, do you know these girls? Now, that's all he had to say to me for me to latch onto him. And when I say I latched onto him, I was holding onto his hand for dear life. I was like, I don't know them. I don't know them. Please don't let me go down there. Please don't let me go down there. Like, tell them to leave. Tell them to leave. Like, please, please. I'm telling you, I could have won an Oscar, because I know that that man felt my fear. I was literally mortified, and I was more scared because I did not know these girls. It'd be different if, like, I had pissed one of them off in high school and I knew the extent of damage that they wanted to do to me. But I didn't know them from nowhere. So they probably could have beat my sorry. But I didn't know them from nowhere. So they probably could have beat my legs in. They literally could have did anything to me. He goes, calm down. Like, calm down. I'm going to make sure that they get out of here. So... honestly, he walks me to the edge of the stairs, and I'm like kind of like peeking over, because I could like peek and then see the what do you call it, like the workshop down there. I could see it over the railing. So I'm like looking over the railing to see if they still in there, and I saw one girl in there. I'm guessing the girl whose car, she was like, let me go get my vehicle. I literally left it in the middle of the street, and she left it on the wrong side of the street. So I'm pretty sure she was like, okay, you handle her, I'm gonna go back to the vehicle. And I saw that girl, like, I'll never forget, because she was wearing these like Victoria's Secret pink sweats, and I'll never forget, she was like stomping through the warehouse, like really looking for me, and never met me in my life. And all of this for an iPhone 4. So that should tell you how long ago this story was. Y'all, that's the story of how I almost got jumped. Because you already know, after that, I took my ass home and I stayed in the house for the rest of the day. I didn't steal no more after that. And you can guarantee, you have my word that I didn't steal no more after that. And that's just me driving in the truth nail into the truth coffin. I don't do that no more. Just because of the karma I got. God let me know right there at the moment, thou shalt not steal. And if you do steal, you might get killed, okay? If you guys like this story, go ahead and turn that thumbs up. Blue, support your girl. Get those fingers moving in the comments below and tell me what you guys would have done in that situation, and what do you think them bitches wanted from me? I mean, for real. Like, even as I was telling the story, I low-key started to get scared, because I'm like, what did they want from me besides that phone? Because they was doing way too much to just want a phone. Like, they was doing the most to just want the iPhone. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. With that being said, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.